With Brewers Warm-Up, we are your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 5 o'clock, it's 47 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy and cool, low of 40. Sunday, increasing clouds with a chance of rain late into the afternoon, high 55 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Elizabeth Lintonen. A Milwaukee child goes missing again. 11-year-old Caden Hudson was last seen on Friday afternoon near the corner of Clark Street and Val Phillips Avenue on Milwaukee's north side. He has brown eyes and brown hair. Hudson is 4 feet tall and weighs around 70 pounds and was wearing a red hooded sweatshirt with white letters on the front, tan pants, and black and gold shoes. He was the subject of 2 critical missing alerts last month. Anyone with information is asked to call Milwaukee police. The next series of weekend closures through mid-June may be a bit complicated for overnight commuters along I-43.
As part of the ongoing I-43 project, the DOT is letting everybody know about some upcoming longer than usual overnight closures between Brown Street and Capitol Drive. Each weekend, one direction of northbound or southbound will be closed roughly between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m., and one lane will remain closed until about 10 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday mornings. There will be posted detours available if you don't want to deal with the delays. And as always, all the work is weather dependent. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
A Campbell Sport woman is heading to jail for a month for poaching and killing more than 100 deer. 37-year-old Jessica Craning was charged with intentionally poaching deer in Fond du Lac, Dodge, and Washington counties with her son. Our partners at NBC 26 found court records that indicated Craning was accused of killing the deer by shining a light at them from a car. She was accompanied by 3 minors who then shot the deer and harvested their heads. Craning is ordered to pay $1,700 in fines. Lighting up a Milwaukee landmark in memoriam, the Hone Bridge will light up red tomorrow in honor of 2 Wisconsin firefighters who lost their lives in 2024. The firefighters memorialized are Doran Kemp, the second of the Milwaukee Fire Department, paramedic Tyler Creeder of the Green Bay Metro Fire Department. The lighting will be preceded by a reading of their service history and a moment of silence at 8 p.m. on Sunday. The boat Deep Thought has been on Milwaukee's lakeshore since October, but that may finally change on Tuesday.
County Supervisor Sheldon Wasserman says the county is shutting down Lincoln Memorial Drive to remove the boat.
The sheriffs are going to be shutting it down. We also have to make sure that people aren't right in front of it. This could become a big operation, so we don't want spectators just going right into the site.
Why did the county not just cut the boat into smaller pieces?
You still have an engine in there. It has transmissions. You have mechanical parts that may still have lubrication and petroleum products inside. So we want to environmentally, it's better to always take it out in mass.
Sean Brinda, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 5:03.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care, and they do it every day with compassion and with empathy. They've got locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I've been to the locations. I love how they treat the people who live there. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They offer early memory loss classes. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. Kindness at the core. It's Azura Living. Check them out at azuraving.com. It's Azura.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Milwaukee Admirals play tonight against the Rockford Ice Hogs at 6 p.m. The Brewers take on the Cubs tonight at home. Brewers coverage starts right here on WTMJ after 5:30 news. Time for your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Taking a look at the roads, we're still seeing major delays heading east on I-41. We're also seeing the start of some delays at the downtown interchange. Other than that, looking clear and good to go. Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy and cool, low of 40 degrees. Sunday, increasing clouds with a chance of rain late into the evening. High 55 at the lake, 58 inland. Monday, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, high of 53 degrees. Tuesday, partly cloudy, high of 62. Wednesday, partly sunny, high of 58 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's 54. Green Bay, it's 53. Waukesha, it's 52. And in Milwaukee, it's 44 degrees. I'm Elizabeth Lintonen. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 4:05.
This is Brewers Warm-Up with Dominic Cotroneo. Your lineups, manager insights, and a preview of tonight's game right now. This is Brewers Warm-Up. Here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
sun is out, new day. Let's play ball, shall we? Going to be a packed house here at American Family Field. Cubs and Brewers, Game 2 of the series. Game 1, all Cubs, to say the least. Now, wake yourself up, dust yourself off, and get ready to try to level the series. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. We've got your Brewers warm-up preview show here. The network coverage will take over at the bottom of the hour. Lane and Josh on the call here on WTMJ once again as the Brewers try to do something they haven't done in 19 innings. Score a run. Yep, shut out in back-to-back games after they were the last team in the National League not to be shut out before Thursday's loss in Chicago. Now they have been shut out in back-to-back contests. Today, they will hand the ball to their win day starter. That is Jose Quintana. Off to a 4-0 start. This couldn't have gone better in the eyes of Pat Murphy, in the eyes of the front office, to make sure that they don't let that guy get away again. And the former Cub will face his former team from a few seasons ago against Jameson Taillon. The right-hander gets the ball for Chicago. He is a 1-1 with a 4.01 ERA. While we're at it, let's just go ahead and jump into the starting lineups. We'll hear from Pat Murphy in just a little bit. Various audio clips to play for you from his session today, and also some roster moves to talk about for the crew. But first, the starting lineup. For the Brewers, it'll be Jackson Chourio in the leadoff spot today. He is playing center field. We'll explain why he's in the leadoff spot in a moment. Batting second is Bryce Terang, the second baseman. In the 3 spot, it is William Contreras moving up a spot, the catcher. And then the cleanup hitter is Christian Yelich, who will once again DH. In the 5th spot, maybe Murph was listening yesterday to our postgame show, Rhys Hoskins is going to bat 5th today for the crew. He's playing first base. Sal Frelick bats 6th now, and he'll play right field. Switch hitting left fielder Isaac Collins will hit 7th. Joey Ortiz is the shortstop batting 8th. And Caleb Durbin rounds out the order as the third baseman batting 9th. Again for the crew, it'll be Chourio, Terang, Contreras. The middle has Yelich, Hoskins, and Frelick. The bottom has Collins, Ortiz, Durbin. For Craig Counsell's Chicago Cubs, not that different, but a few different names in here. Ian Happ will lead off once again, the switch-hitting left fielder as well. Batting second, Kyle Tucker once again. He is in right field. Seiya Suzuki hits third, DHing once again this evening. Carson Kelly, one of the stories of the year, had an RBI yesterday. He is the catcher batting cleanup. Justin Turner will get the start today against a left-hander on the other side. Turner is the first baseman. Batting 6th, it's Nico Horner. Second baseman had an RBI single and a 2-run first yesterday. Pete Crow Armstrong, a 2-homer game yesterday. He's the center fielder hitting 7th. Dansby Swanson bats 8th at short. And finally, John Birdie rounds out the order for the Cubs. He's the third baseman. Again, for the Cubs, Happ, Tucker, Suzuki is the top third. In the middle, it's Kelly, Turner, and Horner. And then at the bottom, Crow Armstrong, Swanson, and Birdie. And again, the pitching matchup for the Brewers, Jose Quintana, the lefty, against Jameson Taillon of the Cubs, the righty. Part of the reason the Brewers are using Chourio at the leadoff spot and moving up Rhys's spot and kind of changing it up slightly is Jameson Taillon has extreme reverse splits. You may have heard that term before and you always didn't have the nerve to ask. Well, here, let me help you. Reverse splits is what we refer to a pitcher that has a easier time getting the other hand out. Naturally in baseball, the normal theory is if you're a right-handed hitter, you hit left-handed pitchers very well, and vice versa. If you're a left-handed hitter, you're supposed to hit right-handed hitters well, and you maybe struggle against lefties. So in the case of Jameson Taillon, you would imagine righties have a harder time against him than lefties. Well, it's the other way around. Lefties have a really hard time against Jameson Taillon. So much to the numbers sound like this. Lefties only hit 167 with a 461 OPS against Taillon, whereas right-handed hitters, same-sided handed hitters, are hitting over 300 with an OPS just a dot away from 1,000. So that's part of the reason Chourio will lead off, part of the reason they move up Rhys by a spot and also try to get, two righties in the order in the first 3 batters, moving Yelich to the cleanup spot. That's part of the reason there. When you talk about the roster moves today, though, the Brewers did make one small move today, and that was optioning Craig Yoho down to AAA Nashville. In response, the Brewers recall right-hander Elvin Rodriguez. And for the immediate reaction of folks asking, why is it not Quinn Priester? Why is it not him? Well, if you want to bring up an arm for your bullpen, you want to have somebody immediately available. Now, Priester's not going to pitch today, tomorrow. He's probably going to make his start again on Wednesday, which is the next day that his day would come up against the Houston Astros. However, the Brewers can make that decision when that day comes if they want him to start. You have 4 days to decide if you want to do that with him. They immediately needed another arm because, well, they used their entire bullpen yesterday. They had to use a position player once again yesterday, too. And furthermore, Craig Yoho probably wasn't going to be available today after throwing more than 30 pitches on Thursday down on the south side. So I'm surprised they, quite frankly, didn't do it yesterday, but they did it today anyway. And Elvin Rodriguez is here more as a matter of in case they need length and somebody that is easily optionable. That was the point, to bring Elvin Rodriguez up because of the ability to give length for the Brewers if necessary. But Yoho, he had his first real derailment of his big league career, and really his first real derailment as a professional in the last 2 years. And Pat Murphy shared today before the game about the message that he gave to Yoho on his way back down and how the Brewers still really believe in Craig Yoho.
Yoho is big part of our future. I really think so. I think we have something there that's pretty special. He's an incredible kid. His first taste in the big leagues, he did some good things. We need a fresh pitcher today, and it's a good time for him to go down and get that command where he wants it. He can't just, rely on a changeup for a strike. He's got to do more than that, and so he's got to locate the heater better, and it's got to be money. He's got to be a strike-throwing machine, and then the changeup comes in play a lot better.
We talked about that on Thursday's Brewers Weekly after he had the clunker on Thursday afternoon. Murph asked him, have you ever given up a homer on that changeup? And the answer is no. I mean, he didn't allow a home run at all in the 2024 season before Miguel Vargas took him deep on a windy day on the south side. It was a fluky ball because you look at the expected batting average, you can look at 94 miles an hour off the bat, wasn't even hit that well. But then after that home run and then after the fly out to end that frame, he did not throw another changeup for a strike. So the game sped up on him quickly. He'll learn from it and move on and get ready to come back. He will pitch in the big leagues again this year. I can guarantee it. As for Elvin Rodriguez, again, he is length. The Brewers still have Trevor McGill available today. I imagine they have no shame in putting Abner Uribe into a back-to-back. They had to get him some work yesterday. Mears is available. Anderson's probably available on a back-to-back as well. So the bullpen's not in dire straits by any stretch of the imagination. Plus, they're 5 days away from another off day. So they'll be just A-okay trying to get to the rest of this series. Up next, we're going to talk a little bit more about Jose Quintana, what has made him successful, and what needs to change for the Brewers to try to level up this series. They lose Game 1 by a 10-0 score. Ready to go for Game 2 right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is here for you, bringing you the latest headlines with John McCure.
Officials say that she allegedly tried to help an undocumented immigrant avoid arrest after he appeared in her courtroom.
And diving into the details with Julia Fellow.
Making an example of someone, he tweeted, "No one is above the law," the FBI Director Kash Patel.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Afternoon News, where your day's story unfolds. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Only here on WTMJ.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Springtime is here. Baseball season's officially underway, so don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash today. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with basketball, hockey, esports, and much more. Download the app today and use code DOM, D-O-M, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DOM, D-O-M, to get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Brewers warm-up continues. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Going to the bottom of the hour here, then the news, and then it'll be the network pregame show. Jose Quintana. Man, the first since CC Sabathia. Anything CC Sabathia, everyone's ears perks up. What'd he do since CC? First since CC Sabathia to win each of his first 4 starts as a Brewer. And they've been great. 2 of them are quality starts. And even in his last start against the Cardinals, I described it in that postgame show, he didn't have his best stuff. I mean, he had 3 walks in that game, but 6 strikeouts, all of them looking, all of them on fastballs. He found what worked, and he tapped back into it. The other thing that's really been helping out Jose Quintana so far this season is run support. In fact, since he made his debut with the Brewers on April 11th in Arizona, he goes 7 shutout innings in that game. The Brewers won that game by a 7-0 score. You add it all up, the Brewers have scored 30 runs for him. 30! He has had the most run support of any starter in baseball since his debut on April 11th. So that's an easy way to get things going in the right direction. He's departed with the lead every single time. His ERA sits at 1.14. He has not allowed multiple earned runs so far this season. And his manager, Pat Murphy, understands, man, this dude just gets it. It's not by accident that he spent 13 years in the show and now year 14 for him. It's no accident that he is able to continue to produce at this high level.
The kid's a consummate pro, man. He's just, the analytic stuff has crushed him for years, you know what I mean? And he just figures out a way. He figures out a way. He's been great. He's been poised. And think about all the injured guys and all the things we're dealing with. What a pickup, to have a guy of that stature and that professionalism, and it'll help everybody on the team, not just pitchers, but everybody on the team. He's been such a great person to have around.
Really excited to see what he can do against a very aggressive Cubs lineup. And part of the reason why they're so successful is their offense. And one of the things that they obviously did so well yesterday is not just the 7-run inning in the second, but they were out to a 2-0 lead with great 2-strike offense, putting the ball in play, doing the little things right. I commend really quality baseball on top of the fact that they can hit the ball out over the fence, like we saw with Michael Busch's grand slam, who's now out of the lineup today given they're facing a left-handed pitcher. But when you look at the league splits and when you look at specifically what the Cubs have been doing with 2 strikes, they're one of the best in baseball at putting the ball in play with 2 strikes. Their overall batting average with 2 strikes is 6. And now the number isn't impressive because you're like, well, 187, what's so impressive about that? Well, when you think about it, it's 2 strikes. Your back is against the wall. You're not supposed to get a hit. But then you look a little deeper. They have 20 home runs with 2 strikes this year. That's the most in baseball. Comparatively, the Brewers, they're 11th. They only have 11. So they're in a tie for 11th most in home runs in that regard, and their slugging percentage with 2 strikes is what's really an anomaly. League average for slugging with 2 strikes is .261. That is league average. The Cubs are slugging .341, so 80 points better with 2 strikes. They're a team that is able to be aggressive. They're a team that's able to put A swings on as much as possible. They're also a team that loves to swing at the first pitch and put the first pitch in play. They have no issues with putting that ball in play. They have the 2nd best batting average and the 5th best OPS when putting the first pitch in play. So you have to imagine, can you find a way to use that aggression against the Cubs today? And that is going to be the main goal of Jose Quintana. Furthermore, a thing about today is the Brewers got to find a way to not fall behind. They are 0-11 this season when they allowed the opponent to score first. And it sounds like such an easy task, right? But the Brewers have had some blowouts in there. They've had it, you look at Thursday, they were down 1-0 the majority of the game, and then it became a blowout. So there have been other games where they allow the opponent to score first, and then it snowballs, and they're never able to get back. Now, there was a game in there, too, on the road trip in St. Louis when they were down 5-0, came back to tie at 5-5, and then ultimately lost on Nolan Arenado's walk-off homer. Sometimes, once you do it once and you're down, let's say 3-1 in 4 innings into the game, and you finally do have that comeback later in the game, you finally believe you can do it, and that creates a little bit of momentum for you to get things going in the right direction. But Pat Murphy understands blowouts are a part of this and what the psyche can do when you are trailing so often so early.
Absolute huge effect. And when you're back 9-0, it's a different ball game. It's a different, and our offense doesn't operate like that. Like I said, you got to be able to beat people in different ways. So you got to be able to climb back in those games. When you're back 9-0, it's hard to process. Like this at bat, this get to first, this don't swing at that pitch out of the zone is critical because it could lead to 2. And then the hit by pitch and an error, in an overthrow, in a single. Now we're back 5. There's 4 innings to go. Who should we use in the pen over there? You know what I mean? And then the game just starts changing. But it's very hard for young players to understand that. And then as the manager, your frustration sets in, and it's a snowballing effect of then it's just a bad place to be.
Very bad place to be. So try to get some wins and try to get things going in the right direction. With all that being said, that'll lead us to our Prize Picks segment. Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Springtime's here, and baseball season's officially underway, so don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. It's super easy. All you got to do is download the app today, and you pick more or less on at least 2 players. So maybe you're in the mood for what PCA did yesterday, or maybe you're feeling a breakout coming from one of these righties, given we gave you the opposite splits. Maybe Rhys Hoskins hits a homer. William Contreras hasn't had an extra base hit in 16 games. You can, say more or less and make your pick known on the Prize Picks app. And when you use that app today, use promo code DOM, D-O-M, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DOM, D-O-M, to get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Take a breather, come back with one more segment of Brewers Warm-Up after this on 620 WTMJ.
You'll find that the licensed and certified electricians from Quality are top-notch. We've been around for over 60 years, so expect nothing but the best. And here's the kicker. With over 60 vehicles out there on the roads, you're not going to have to wait very long at all for the electrical service you need now. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For all your residential electrical needs, call Quality.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field so we can respond ultra quickly to your emergency AC needs. When you call Quality for emergency AC service, you can count on a swift response to get the job done right away. So if the heat's got you to the point where it's just too hot to handle, call Quality and we'll get you the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield and their custom design room. Don't think twice. Call Geis. When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. At a member, new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
Back to Brewers Warm-Up on WTMJ.
Getting ready to wrap up the program. Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard as the Brewers get ready for Game 2 of this 3-game set with the Cubs. The next opponent for the Brewers is the Houston Astros, Monday through Wednesday here at American Family Field. Astros defeated the White Sox today 8-3 to level that series. The Astros are 2 games above 500 in a wacky AL West to this point in the season. The AL West right now has 3 teams above 500 and maybe the preseason favorite below 500 at 16 and 17. The Mariners are 19 and 12. The A's are 18 and 15, and the Astros are 17 and 15. And it's also worth a reminder about late comebacks and how much can happen over the course of a season. A lot of folks were abandoning ship this time last year for the Houston Astros, and they had a terrible start to their year, and they really didn't get going for a while. In fact, they were still under 500 as late as June 28th, and they were 5.5 games back. I mean, at one point on June 18th, they were down 10 games in the division, and then ultimately won the division and won it pretty handily by 4 games. So there's just so much that can happen between now and then. That's why we don't overreact, and the Astros are a great example of how much can happen throughout a season. Other games, a couple of rainouts already. The Cardinals are postponed into a doubleheader tomorrow against the Mets. Also a rain delay in Cincinnati once again. No surprise with Churchill Downs being so sloppy today for the Kentucky Derby. And Nats and Reds are delayed there. Other games that have gone final. How about a go-ahead grand slam by Daniel Schneemann for the Cleveland Guardians in Toronto? A 5-3 win for Cleveland in that one. Also a final. The Rays survive against the Yankees by a 3-2 score. 2 runs in the 8th inning off of Mark Leiter Jr. Devin Williams did not pitch in that game as the Rays level that series with the Yankees. Other games in action right now. Matt Chapman hit a grand slam for the Giants. They're 1 out away from taking a win over the Rockies 6-3. The A's are leading on the Marlins right now 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th. They could take the first 2 of that series as well. Rain delay at Fenway. It's 4-1 Twins. A cool moment in that one. Cody Clemens playing at Fenway Park for the first time in his career. Yes, that Clemens. Yes, the son of Roger. And Roger in the ballpark got to see Cody go yard for his first homer of the year. Remember, Cody was a long-time Philadelphia Philly. He was DFA'd earlier this year and now finds a home with the Twins. Pirates out to an early 1-0 lead on the Padres. That game is in the top of the 3rd inning. Bailey Falter against Randy Vasquez, the matchup. In news out of Arizona that Diamondbacks starter Corbin Burns is going to miss some time due to shoulder inflammation. Corbin hasn't missed time on the injured list, the proper injured list, since 2020. Furthermore, he had a COVID positive in 2021, asymptomatic positive, but that's the only time he's missed a start. He's been one of the more durable pitchers in baseball. So that's a quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard. The other bit of news we got today, and this is what we'll leave you with, is that Brandon Woodruff could be back in 2 weeks or less. Now, the end of his rehab assignment is on the 11th. His next rehab outing will be in Nashville on Tuesday with the Sounds, and then one more short one after that on the 11th. And then following that, the Brewers expect, as long as things go well, him to rejoin the team by the end of the month. So very good news to hear about Brandon Woodruff for the 2025 season. Okay. I will be talking to you after the game. Let's all take a deep breath, see what's going to happen. Let's have some fun, shall we? It's going to be a rocking crowd, 40,000 plus here at the ballpark. Let's have some fun. For our producer, Nate Rilling, I'm Dom Cotroneo. I'll catch you after the game today as well for Brewers Extra Innings. For now, I'll kick it back to our studio. Here's Elizabeth Lintonen.
Thanks, Dom. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Elizabeth Lintonen. A scary scene in California where a small plane crashed into homes on Saturday afternoon. It's unclear how many people were on the plane or their conditions. ABC's Alex Stone reports from Los Angeles.
According to Ventura County Fire, nobody was hurt inside of the homes in Simi Valley that the plane hit. The fire is now out at 2 homes that caught fire. Firefighters say they have searched the homes, and those inside reported they got out okay. It appears to have been a very small plane, which is home built out of a kit.
One person is dead after a fatal crash in Milwaukee Friday morning. A suspect fired shots at a car near 37th Street in Hopkins just after 10 a.m. on Friday. The driver escaping